Hi guys, my name is Jenna and welcome to possibly my first ever video. It's gonna be awkward. I'm gonna mess up. Editing is gonna be bad, but I wanted to share my July wrap up. It's already like a week in August already, but I read some really good books that I just did not vibe with, and I just really wanted to share them. So let's get into it. So to start off, I read I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. This is not a part of the Heartstopper series. I have the Heartstopper series right there on my bookshelf. Not a part of the universe. It's a standalone. This follows Angel, who is obsessed with this band called The Ark. And you also follow a perspective of Jimmy, who is the lead singer. Yeah, the lead singer of the Ark. And you just kind of follow their perspectives and how their lives kind of intertwine. It was just really wholesome and really fun. And Alice Oseman, her writing, you think you're getting into a really sweet and wholesome book, but then all of a sudden, some very deep topics start to unfold, and I love it because it's written almost in like a YA form. Like, it's very easy to read, her writing is, but the topics that she chooses to follow are just so amazing, and I think more people should write about that. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. I'd probably give it like a 4.5 now that I think about it. But I also do recommend Solitaire, and I have not read Radio Silence yet. I need to though. But Solitaire is a part of the Heartstopper universe, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5. This was so good. So, highly recommend. Next, I read, so this was a reread. I reread Restore Me. This is one of my favorite books out of the Shadow Me series. I'm obsessed with the Shadow Me series. And this is one of my favorites, so I wanted to reread it just for fun. And I loved it. 5 out of 5. I mean, I love the Shadow Me series so much. Next, I read Champion. I am almost done with the Legend series. This is the third book in the Legend series. This is a YA dystopian series. Like Shadow Me, this isn't, in my opinion, as good as Shadow Me, but it's really good. The romance is really sweet in it. This is the third book, and this was gonna be almost a 5 stars for me, but I hated the ending, so it knocked it down to like 4 probably. I think it's a good ending for like reading, but just not my thing. I have the 4th book, so hopefully it'll bump it back up to a 5 stars, but we'll see. Next, the biggest disappointment of the month, and I'm probably gonna get hate. I may. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I did not like the trope in this book. I'm not gonna say it because that's a spoiler, but yeah, I did not like this trope. I love childhood friends to lovers. Love me a good second chance romance, but there's a trope in here that I just don't agree with, and I don't think should be rewarded. I think it should be forgiven but not rewarded. Yeah, this was like a 3 for me. There you go. Next, I read The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I've also read If We Were Us, which is one of her underrated books. This was so good. Really cute. But I loved her writing style, so I have heard good things about The Summer of Broken Rules, so wanted to give it a read, and I loved it. I mean, it was more than just a romance. It was fun. You follow Meredith, who is mourning the loss of her sister Claire. And every summer, her and her family go to Martha's Vineyard, and she hasn't been there since her sister passed, and one of her cousins or something is getting married, so she's going there with her family for the first time since Claire passed, and she's kind of reconciling with her family and stuff. And at the wedding, one of the best men is Whit, who is related to the groom, I believe, is like the brother of the groom. And every year the family plays a game of assassin, and Whit and Meredith form an alliance. So you just kind of follow this game of assassin, but you also follow their like budding romance. I don't know. It was just really sweet. It was a perfect like balm that I needed after I read Every Summer After. So highly recommend. I gave this like a 4.5, honestly. Like it just it hit all the marks for me. Highly recommend. Next, I read the whole Hopeless series by Colleen Hoover. This was one of the last few books that I needed to read of hers. I still have the Slammed series, Never Never, and Too Late, and then I think I'll be done. But yeah, first we have Hopeless, which you follow Sky, who she doesn't really remember much of her past, and she bumps into this guy named Holder, who Holder just oddly has this like attraction to her. Like there's already kind of attraction there, and he feels like he knows her, and some way they start to form a relationship, a friendship, then a relationship, and things start to be figured out about Sky's past. And really, really good. Check the trigger warnings for this whole series. Check the trigger warnings. There are some very, very intense topics discussed in this book and the whole series. Excuse me, that I just don't think a lot of people will find easy to read. So there you go. And then Losing Hope is the exact same, not the exact, but a similar, it's the same like story as Hopeless, but in the male's point of view, in Holder's point of view. There's still like a lot of things that are different, and you kind of, there's a lot of cool things that you find out and you realize from Holder in his perspective. Then you read Finding Cinderella, which is a novella. I hate this cover, oh my god. But this follows Sky's best friend and Holder's best friend and their romance, and how an event occurs that kind of shakes up their romance. Then you have All Your Perfects, which is a complete standalone. You do not have to read the rest of the series to understand this book, but All Your Perfects, you follow Graham and Quinn. Read the trigger warnings in this as well. This deals with infertility. And this was a very hard read. I sobbed while reading this book, and I do not like sob while reading many books. There's not many books that have made me like completely cry. But this was one of them, and you follow a then and now perspective of when Quinn and Graham were first starting their relationship, and then fast forward like 7 or 8 years after they've been married, and they're dealing with just a lot of marital problems and stuff like that. But it's just it's really good. This is one of my favorite of Coho's. Then you have the final novella and installment of the Hopeless series called Finding Perfect. Very, very short, like it's like 80 pages. And this book basically kind of ties all of the characters together, especially like Quinn and Graham to the Hopeless series and stuff like that, and why they're all related. I did kind of figure out the little twist though. I figured out like while I was reading All Your Perfects, figured out like how they were all gonna be related in a way. So loved these. 5 out of 5, honestly. Like the series in a total, if I had to rate them all individually, probably Hopeless. I liked Hopeless more than I liked Losing Hope. Hopeless was like a 4.75. Losing Hope was like a 4.5. Finding Cinderella like a 4, honestly. All Your Perfects was a 4.75, and Finding Perfects was like a 4 probably. So yeah. Then finally, this was a reread, The Anatomical Shape of a Heart by Jen Bennett. She is a really popular YA author, and this book used to have a chokehold on me in like middle school. I loved this book so much, reread it so many times, and I wanted to reread it. I was at the library and I was like, okay, this looks so good. I need to reread it again to see if I still felt the little butterflies while reading it the first time. And I didn't, because I realized how cheesy this book is and the writing style, but I knew it was YA from the beginning, you know what I mean? But it was still so cute, and like I was remembering little things and memories from when I first read this, and I loved it so much. Just really, really cute. And I actually just forgot, because I don't have the copy with me, I also read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read that as a library book, but I have since returned to that book. And that book, 5 out of 5. I have only ever read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I did not really like it that much. I thought like the twist was really, really cool, but I wasn't very invested in the story. But Malibu Rising, I inhaled that book. That book was so good. And I just was I was in awe, honestly, the whole time I was reading it. 5 out of 5, became one of like my top books of 2022 for sure. But yeah, that is my July wrap up, you guys. I really hope you all enjoyed. I hope that I can make more videos, and I don't know, I'm very grateful that I have these books and have people in my life that care to listen to me talk about books, because I can talk about books for a very long time. So that's why I kind of wanted to start this little channel. And you know, if one day it blows up, cool. If it never does, cool. Like, I want a platform to just be able to rant and be able to talk about these books that I love so much, and I'm just so excited to share that. And I hope that maybe, you know, if you get a recommendation from me, amazing. Like, that's my goal, is to just get more people to read, get people to find cool books that they like, you know, new favorites and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.